making sure YouTube's on its ball today. It's not that I have low expectations, but I have low expectations. Okay, so testing 1, 2, 3. How do I sound today? Okay, here's me. How about this? Oops. Okay, let's see more. How's my game? Okay, test, test, test. Okay, test, test, test. Okay, that sounds better. I mean, it still sounds like me, which is a downside, but, you know, that is just the nature of things. Okay, let me tweet this out. Okay. Alright, I'm done dicking around. It's 7 o'clock. It's Friday. This is the first time in a week and a half that I don't have work tomorrow. So I'm going to enjoy that and play some more Bloodborne. And hopefully I'll get back to Dark Souls 3 soon. You know, just throwing myself against walls like Aldrich. And Aldrich shouldn't even be that hard. I've beaten him before. But just throwing myself against walls like that, for one, it doesn't make good video, and for two, it's just less relaxing to me to keep doing the same thing badly. And I'm like, well, I can play Bloodborne badly. Forbidden Woods it is. I mean, I can play this badly, but at least I can still make some progress. Dark Souls 3. So, I'll get back to it, just not immediately. I mean, maybe tomorrow I'll sit down after Resident Evil. I guess I'm still doing that on Saturday. I'm thinking I might just sit down and stream on Twitch, me grinding a whole bunch. Like the in-laws, you approach anyone with a gun by doing a little serpentine run. That's literally the only scene I remember from that movie. I think it's about, you know, I remember it was a comedy, but I think I was too young to get it at the time. But it was about a couple guys, they find some, I want to say they find printing plates for, you know, US currency. I think I might be completely wrong. It's been so long, but anyway, there's a scene where wow, that sucked. Okay, so there's a scene. There we go. There's a scene where they're running away from somebody with an automatic weapon of some kind, and that one runs from cover. And the other one yells to him, "Serpentine! Serpentine!" You know, reminding him how he's supposed to move. So he runs back, and then runs out correctly, you know, down in, you know, making it hard to hit him, basically. There's just something about that scene stuck with me, and I don't even remember if it's I don't remember the title of the movie 100%. I mean, we're talking about over 20-odd years ago. And, I don't know, it's one that didn't make as big of an impression on me. I have a hard time remembering a lot of movies lately. Most of the ones I watch with some friends on Friday nights, and broadly speaking, they're usually terrible movies. I'll remember some bits and comment on them, but if I can't even remember what we watched last week, let alone how good or bad it was. I mean, oh hell, there's some that stick with you, like one of our group had you know, it was his birthday, so he picked the movies and we watched a couple Roger Corman films, and boy, those are special. We watched one called Galaxy of Terror, and it's basically just really cheaply made and incomprehensibly just kind of dumb sci-fi, and it wasn't that good. The next one we watched was a little more memorable. It was, you know, kind of swords and sorcery type nonsense, but this guy has some opinions about women. I'm just noticing that in his movies. Like, there's at least one rape or attempted rape in each of them. I mean, there's one where there's a scene in Galaxy of Terror where a monster overtakes a woman and she's left naked and covered in slime. And it's like, huh. Where it starts to get egregious was the other one we watched. And again, the name escapes me, but the whole thing is about these two girls who are supposed to, like, overthrow some evil kingdom or whatever. And it's something about how the two will become one. And eventually... Oh, wait. I forgot an important detail here. First off, they didn't even know that men and women were different, and what sex was, despite living in a rural village where they have animals. And it's only a matter of time before you see animals fuck. It's just, sorry, that's just gonna happen. And somehow they get to, hopefully, their legal years without even a clue of this sort of thing. So, of course, you have some... I mean, this is where I really think it was a complete fucking dude, bro. Because it's like, oh yes, some guy gets to teach these two young girls what sex is. And of course, the whole movie feels like a punchline for, you know, saying he's gonna bang both of them at once, and the callback to that whole prophecy about two becoming one. It's just like, seriously, the 80s were different, but I mean, it's so contrived. They put a lot of work into being that contrived and backwards, to the point where it kind of becomes fun. So I forgot how much the Forbidden Woods can kick their ass. And I mean, honestly, we're not even to the part where it really earns its name. Okay. Ooh, twin shards. I don't even know how far upgraded my weapon is right now. +4. Oh, man. What do I have? I think I need just one more and I can take it up to +5. Part of me wants to pick up Sekiro this weekend. And I really want to, but it is one of those times that I'm genuinely intimidated by this game for the reputation it's gotten. Because it's not people going, oh man, that's really hard. It's people who go from software games going, this is ridiculous. But I mean, everybody kind of brings their own skill set, whatever it may be, to the table. So some people are going to be better at a game than others, even if they've, you know, played similar things. But But I hear the big thing with Sekiro is parrying. And while Bloodborne features a lot of it, and I sometimes even pull one off once in a while, I guess the Sekiro parrying, there's 3 different types of attack, and you have to figure out which one they're doing and beat it in a very fast game of rock, paper, scissors. Essentially, this is how it was described, and it may be completely wrong because that's just the internet, right? So I'm just thinking, can I do that? Because I suck at parrying in games that aren't Dark Souls 1 or Bloodborne. So, I don't know. I want to play it because it's from software, but I also just kind of don't want to be somebody who's in a position where I want to like this, but I'm completely terrible at it. And, of course, I'm just going to avoid discussion of difficulty modes, because, boy, there's a toxic conversation. So, speaking of toxic, here's a bunch of poisonous crap down here, and work today. So today was day 11 of an 11-day run. You know, we had the... oops. Wow! Wow! Okay. Those were awful. And I thought, you know, the 15th, you know, we're supporting tax software, so April 15th is bound to be busy. You know, I was pretty much expecting I would never see a moment where I wasn't making a call, specifically outbound calls, because everybody who called got put in a queue, and we just returned them instead of making them wait on the line. And I figured that'd be the worst of it. And, oh, I could not have been more wrong. Because the people who are just trying to get their taxes done at the last minute are never nearly as obnoxious as the people who didn't file them on time and somehow it's my fault. Oh boy. I had a guy call today. He was having trouble using a tablet to... oops. Frick! Okay, sorry. He was having trouble using the tablet to navigate the site. And I asked a few people about this specific issue, and they said, there really is no fix for this. It sounds like his resolution isn't right. And of course, I tell him this, is like, no, this tablet's huge, you can totally do it. I'm like, well, I don't know about that, but we're going to suggest you use, proper computer. And then he starts getting belligerent about this and wants to talk to a manager, and I tell our supervisor, he's like, I'm not going to tell him anything different. I'm like, okay. So he gets more and more belligerent, and eventually gets to just shouting at me, calling me names, and then the threats came. So I just disconnected. And then he has the gall to call back and say, when are people hung up on me? So... anyone opening his account now, there's at least 3 or 4 different messages. One's a big red supervisor message, essentially saying, yeah, don't bother with this guy. He is an asshole. So, and it wasn't even the only call like that today either. I had one fucking... oh, man. I'm trying to give him instructions. It was one of those things to work with that I wasn't particularly familiar with. And first he complains I'm talking too fast, which I do, I admit. I got a lot of that. I heard a lot of that in grade school. Actually, even up through high school. People were like, you're talking too fast. And then we had to read something out loud in class. Like, people couldn't keep up, and I'm like, you just have to look at the words as I'm saying them. So, whatever. And then I misstepped told him at some point, I'm like, look, this is something that's going to have to go to different departments because, you know, this is not the thing I'm qualified for. And the thing that enrages him is that one step I made a I sent him in the wrong direction. I'm like, okay, we're gonna have to go back. Sorry about that. And he flips out. He's like, "Are you just inept or you there?" And honestly, it's a little of both. But I mean, he's just yelling and screaming. And sadly, I had to direct him to another department rather than just write him off as a toxic, entitled piece of shit. But yeah, working with the public is an interesting challenge, and I think it's just important to know that, you know, some customers are worth losing. It's like, I don't need this level of verbal abuse in my life. And I had somebody justify their bullshit on this once, saying that, well, this is customer service. You just have to deal with it. I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't mean you have to put an active effort into making it suck. You know? Like, when I was a stupid teenager, prank calls were kind of funny sometimes. What's miraculous is this was before the Jerky Boys were putting out CDs, but people made a lot of silly prank calls, and I'm certainly not innocent of this. But broadly speaking, you know, they weren't abusive and rude. They were bizarre, and sometimes they led to just these hour-long conversations with strangers, which was kind of fun. But you know, we never called like a business. You know, we didn't, I'm trying to, well, okay, there was one business we called, one. But it was a disgusting joke that appealed to our worst instincts. And we just couldn't resist, because we're terrible people. But I mean, we never called people who had to sit there and take it. You know, we called people who could hang up. And of course, people don't bother with prank calls now because nobody even turns their phone on, if they can help it. Oops. Damn it! One hit knock. Oh, well, almost. Anyway. I need to stop talking about my job. I need to keep these people out of my head. It's kind of amazing for how much of it blurs together, because it's 9 hours of, you know, sitting in a cubicle answering calls, and pretty much every day there is exactly the same. I mean, not exactly, you know. So I guess Sony's made some announcements. Well, not announcements so much as I guess there was a Wired article, and one of the people said, "Hey, our next console's going to have some high specs," and apparently Microsoft doesn't want to be outdone, so they made some claims about whatever their next console's going to do. And this part of, you know, the companies and the rivalries just makes me grind my teeth, because there's people who act like it's a big deal, and every one of them is fucking wrong. I don't care about the specs on the next system that Sony puts out, or that Microsoft puts out, or that Nintendo puts out, because that is the least relevant thing. Some of the extra features can be interesting, Like being able to stream live footage is pretty cool. And I know the X-Bone can do it too, but you know, the thing that actually matters is the games. Always, every time. And they can say anything they want about 4K and 8K and frames per second, and none of it matters if you can't put a good game on console. And 0 companies have learned this lesson. Because this is still the same nonsense we saw back in the 90s when people would, okay, we're going to put out this console that's going to have all this processing power, and then nobody buys it because you can only get some shitty edutainment games and full motion video on it. Like, you know, does anyone remember the Philips CDI and how it was a complete piece of garbage? Does anyone remember the 3DO? I mean, hey, that thing had a lot of power and 0 games that anyone wanted to play. And that's what makes and breaks them. So they can say anything they want about their specs, and it will not matter in the least until they get some exclusives. Because there's one thing the Xbox One cannot do, and you're looking at it. I mean, there's more than one thing, and it has things that PS can't do, and that's fine. But you're pretty much going to make or break these things based on exclusives. You know, do you have games that people want to play? But I guess that's just going to be how this stuff is marketed forever. I mean, we used to talk about how many bits were. This is an 8-bit console. This is 16-bit, and yes, there are some fundamental differences. Whoa! Holy crap. I never ran into this one before. I guess I just always went some way that... How did I miss this thing literally every time in the past? God, I love that the game can still surprise me, but I do feel like I missed something like this in the past. That goes in, that's come out. This is another one of those fine times where I'm asking myself, did I die here? Video games are weird.
Oh, a hunter of beasts, are you? Glory be, you know not the value you possess. But more's the pity. The hours of the night are many, and the beasts more than I can count. A veritable hunt unending. Not even death offers solace, and the blood imbibes you. A most frightful fate. Oh my. But I'm willing to do you a kindness. Step lightly round to the right of the great cathedral.
Oh, it's this guy.
And seek an ancient, shrouded church. The gift of the Godhead will grant you strength. Yes, I'm unquestionably certain.
So one weird thing about Bloodborne as opposed to the other, like FromSoft games, is that it puts your blood echoes in the upper right-hand corner. And every time that counts up, I always look up because I think it might be someone coming in and watching. Which is obviously not the case today, but that's fine. I do wonder, how people find streams that they want to watch. Oh, church gear. Handy. I don't remember where I died, but I did see the way back to the toxic swamp. I should probably equip some antidote pills and head down there. So one thing I'm really looking forward to is I can play Talos Principle on Sunday, and I missed that. So I genuinely really like that game. Okay, seriously, it's kind of embarrassing how huh, it only closes. Okay. That's fine. So the question is, do I push for the next lamp? Or do I go back into the swamp? Oh, the beast roar. So, this game has some limited options for arcane. They exist, but they consume so many of your Quicksilver bullets that I never... Oh! Yeah, because fuck hitboxes. I rarely see small, and the cost is so high. I mean, I get they may not want to make spellcasting any sort of essential thing in this, and that's fine. I mean, I've even used some of that. There's one that's just a weapon buff, and it's not a lot of cost to it. I did use it for a while, but I don't know that it made enough of a difference. Good, blood vials. So the nice thing about hitting this area first is you don't have these guys dropping stuff on you from above. Because if you look down, well, you can't see it here. Yeah, if you look down at the river, you can see that it's glistening, kind of like gasoline does. Which kind of implies that the citizens of Yharnam have managed to refine fuel in new and exciting ways, which I think does require some explanation or a greater impact on the game. But anyway, down there, you get lit up, you're gonna burn, and it's gonna suck. Okay, so let's head back towards Toxic Poop Land. Do I even have many antidote? I've got a few. Oh, and do I have any options for poison resist? Okay, wait. So 14 and 13. Okay, so my poison resistance is better, but not great. And my nose is sticking out of my veil, or hood, which is kind of cool. Okay, now can I do this without getting just boat murdered? We shall see. What are these little pod things? Oh, he's huge. Oh, okay. Not that huge. Jesus! Wow, that was some death of 1,000 cuts material there. Okay, it wasn't 1,000, but you know. Enemies that survive by having tiny hitboxes are the worst. You know what? Let's just run like mad. I bagged him with a stupid trap. Awesome. I may be doing something foolish. There's an obvious trap that I'm not going to step on. Good, good. Oh, okay. Should pay this wall. This is the one that tells me I'm getting closer to the thing. Oh, why are they not in their cages? I suppose that's a quick way down. I pretty much need to go back in there if I want to get my souls. Or blood echoes. upgrades! No! No! Okay, so, extending the axe was a bad idea. I can admit that. You know, I really need to move my quote-unquote studio into my bedroom, because I think the way I have my mic hooked up is a little odd. Oh, just lost a crap ton of echoes too. That was a good 16,000 I lost. So, well, maybe now I'm going to bump into the wall for this game. I have soundly beaten this one. It takes some work. Although I haven't beaten the DLC, so maybe that's where everything falls down. Okay, there's the gate. Here's the wall. There's the dogs and cages. Okay, seriously, dog? Seriously? Is this it? I think it is. Okay. So, we're gonna get to something. I mean, it's not a huge secret. Not in 2019, it isn't anyway. So, I don't know how that... So anyway, so we got some dead bodies. So what does this ladder go to? Well... Glad you asked. Voice in my head. Boy, this construction certainly looks familiar. Dead bodies. More dead bodies. Nothing creepy happening here, I assure you. Other than dead bodies. Hello. Let's go right here. Oh, that's not a door. So I know that maintaining consistent iconography in terms of doors when you're making a video game like this can be difficult. But I do wish there was some better way other than bumping into them and hoping a UI element pops up would be a thing. Or just a better way to detect doors. Oh, these things. I hate these things so much. There we go. Oh, it's still alive? So... So it certainly looks like we're back in Yharnam, but where aren't we? Well... Ah, damn crows. Now. Boom. Yosefka's Clinic. And my insight just increased because I reached this place. That's certainly a sign. And you got this weird, freaky thing. Oh, rune. I still can't use those. Well, maybe today I'm going to go on a little side quest and do something I'll regret. Oh.
Ah, moonlit scents. How did you worm your way in here? Very unfortunate. I had such high hopes for you. Well, I won't make any excuses. Would you mind leaving us alone? Things need not change. You'll do the rescuing, and I'll do the saving. But if you refuse to leave, oh well. Try my head.
So, Yosefka's up to some things. And it's a little too early to get a certain thing you need here, now that I think about it. But yeah, when you send people to be rescued by her, it ain't good. Just throwing that out there. This, the Keenhurst summons, that is actually caused to go back to a place, but oh, I guess I already have one? So Yosefka's vial actually, it heals you and it continues to heal you for a little while, which is nice. So, we're back at the beginning of the game. Yosefka's clinic was connected to the Forbidden Woods. I love these kind of circles and circles. Alright, I don't remember if there's anything else I was supposed to do in here. And I don't want to go back that way, so you know what? I'm going to visit the dream and see if I have enough twin blood shards to upgrade my axe again. Here we go. God, I need a shave.
Very well. Let the echoes become your strength. Let me stand close. Now shut your eyes.
Okay. Well, I can get a level out of it. I'll keep it up with hit points for now because I'm getting beat. Alright, over here. Fortify weapon. Okay. And now we need 7 more to take it up to the next level. So, doing a little more damage. What are my options for blood gems? Let's see. And it looks like somebody came by. Welcome. Let's see. We'll do that. Oh, I guess I could, oh, I don't need to repair my main weapon. What am I thinking? So there's actually an item I'd like to get, but to get it, I gotta go somewhere kind of unpleasant. Hey, Harry. How you doing tonight? Yep, I do know that about that actually. I did see some of your tweets today. So I mean, are you gonna finally become so blitzed that you see the world like the end of 2001? You know, all the lights rushing past you, and you finally become God and merge with the universe, become a giant star child. I just don't know what happens when you get that high, to be perfectly honest.
Oh, hello, dear. You weren't lying. This is a safe place. Thank you. I am in your debt. I'd like to tender my thanks, but I can't imagine what to offer.
Awesome. That's how you should do
All
it.
I can give is my blood. But would you even take a whore's blood?
You bet.
Oh, good. Come close, dear. Don't worry, I've done this before.
So Ariana's blood also has an effect that it improves your stamina recovery speed, which is nice. I mean, it does it for a little while, and anytime you don't have any, you can always ask her for more. And of course, you can send her to Yosefika's clinic, but let's not do terrible things. Okay. Not too bad. I got my ass kicked in the Forbidden Woods for a while, and I remember there's somewhere else I can go. Whoops. Well, I might as well go down this passage that I opened up before. I'm gonna go take on the blood-starved beast, because that never ends badly. Also, some of the mobs down there drop antidote frequently, and I'd like to have that if I venture into that part of the Forbidden Woods again. It's coming over trying to give me a wolf job. Gross. Gross and weird. Tell you though, I'm looking forward to finishing Resident Evil tomorrow, and doing what's it called, Talos on Sunday. I'm really happy to be going back to that. Hunter's not wanted here. like I'm gonna listen. Yeah, I think tomorrow I'm just gonna play through. I'm just gonna play it till Resident Evil, that is. I'm just gonna play it till it ends. One way or two.
Hunter!
Oh, I'll let this guy talk.
Didn't you see the warning? Turn back at once. Old Yharnam, burned and abandoned by men, is now home only to beasts. They are of no harm to those around. Turn back, or the hunter will face the hunt.
This guy. What a cocky brick. Cool. Okay, I think there's a dude. Yep, look at that. Sneaky. Yeah, it does seem like they stocked it with a lot of them. Maybe at some point I'll do the messenger puzzles, because I'm kind of fascinated by them. I mean, I ultimately want to do everything that the game has to offer, and I guess there is the DLC that came with, so that has potential. Oh. Oh, two of them. Where's the other one gone? Oh, there he is. Sweet. Hey, I have a question for you. Do the puzzles in Talos ever get more vertical? I'm just kind of curious, because most of the layouts have been, understandably, pretty flat. I'm kind of wondering if you see any, like, multi-layered puzzles where, you know, the Z-axis kind of comes into it. Oh, that's right, there's multiple endings in the game, too.
You are a skilled hunter. Adept. As the best hunters are.
Interesting. I guess keeping it relatively flat does help with the design process. Okay, there it is. So if you look off in the distance there, you can see the tower, and you can see a guy up there. Now, before I was so rudely interrupted by a terrifying monster, that tower up there has a guy behind a minigun. And as I get too close, he starts to just open fire. So I can't really take a direct approach, because I will get murdered. Turn me into a piece of leaky meat. So I'm going to go down here, because fuck that guy.
Which is why I must stop you.
How is that nuts? Come on, come on. what's the wind-up animation so I can interrupt it. Antidote pills? Oh, blood vial. There's some antidote. Awesome. Okay, so this is an open area, and they can absolutely... Dang it. Ah, I see. Oh. Shit. Alright, so this is pretty much where I have to make a mad dash to climb the tower and hopefully not die when I get to the top. Because that hunter up there, he can fight. And you know I hate it. You know I hate a fair fight. Alright, let's go. Fuck all these guys. These ones. There's a couple hunters over here. I'm going to just flat out ignore them. And time to climb. Ow. Yeah. Oh, that does make sense. Because... seriously? Is somebody climbing up? Oh, wow. I'm gonna swap out my armor here. Oh. Okay. Physical defense is 83. So my best is about 60. For trousers. Yeah, there certainly is. That's something that's kind of kept me fascinated, because certain aspects of the game actually remind me of something a friend of mine and I once talked about designing. Of course, this is well over 13 years ago. I don't even remember it. But a lot of the use of the connectors reminded me of what we were aiming to do. Oh, he sees me. Frick. Here goes nothing. Oh, shotguns. No! Okay, I'm not dead. That's something. No! 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 Yes. Die screaming, you son of a bitch. No. Ha He's dead? I think he's dead. Okay, so I'm going to quit out and come back because he has a key item that I can't leave behind. Okay. Alright, let me look at your 14 list of general puzzle ideas. Cool. Kind of sad that I can't run it on PC because I would like to take a crack at what you create. I mean, that was one of my favorite things, is always being able to mess with, levels and share them with friends and stuff. And for as much as I like the convenience of consoles, I do miss being able to build levels and exchange them. I think I went at length about this in StarCraft once. There's the key item. Okay. So these hunter badges make the merchant offer you more items, more items for sale. So you don't want to miss one because you knocked a guy off a building. Yeah. Right now I'm too focused on, how to make the next month's rent. I mean, I'm good for May, so at least I got that going for me, but, after next week I don't have any 40-hour weeks ahead. Oh! So it's back to being kind of stressed out. I'd like to get a nice rig, so I can stream from that and do overlays and nice little touches like that. There we go. You know what? There's an upper entrance to this place, and I think I can get there safely. At least as safely as Bloodborne allows anything to be. Oh, right, it's up here. Yeah, there's that hunter. I'll kill him later. He knows he sucks. Yeah, here it is. Boop. You know, one of the games I liked developing levels for is still Doom, because it's so limited in how you can lay out a level, because there's no room over room, it's all flat sectors. But I like the ways you can kind of push at those edges a little bit and still make really cool stuff. I mean, I guess there is something to be said about art coming from limitations. Be they technical or editorial. Oh man, that's a lot of dudes, and they all want to fuck. Oh wait, no, that's not what they want to do. You know, I really want to put more time into programming again. I kind of miss doing that. I have ideas for games, nothing too innovative right now, but I just want to be able to produce something and say, hey, here's a cool thing I did. You know, right now I just do silly YouTube videos. I'm like, hey, here's a game I played badly, and people watched. And by people, I mean personally. Oh, Richard, great. No. We absolutely should. Oops. My brain is not great lately, to be perfectly honest. I'm having a lot of trouble focusing on things, and it's kind of concerning. Okay, let's head down. Now that I've got the shortcut open. So wait, this is... So this is the church in Israel. Oh, there's a stairway. Where's that go? Oops, that's not a door. But yeah, lately I feel like I'm always kind of moving, and I never really sit down and contemplate anything. Even on the bus lately, I listen to podcasts while trying to improve my Super Metroid times. So really. I'm just stacking forms of entertainment on top of each other, and I'm not really putting any thought into anything I'm doing. I'm kind of feeling that may be a problem. Maybe I just need to take a week off of the internet, just in a general sense. Of course, the internet's where I'll have to go to look for jobs, so I can't do too much of that. Oh, hell. Yikes. Okay, so there's another alcove over here. Now that's the stairway back up. Or... this way. Is this the path I was looking for? Yes. Okay. Oh wait, that thing is upgrade materials. Just standard shards. 13. Wow, I could probably upgrade my gun. Excuse me. Oh, these things. Bullets. Well, bloodstone shards I have. Vials and bullets? I'm a little tapped out. Okay. But yeah, when it comes to games, I come up with a lot of relatively simple ideas, but I don't think I get the depth in them. And then, of course, I never get to implementation. So, it's ultimately, you know, nice idea. Gotta do something with it, though. Pretty sure one of those big wolf things is going to come jumping down here. Hey, big guy. Fortunately, they are easy to parry. That's okay. I didn't know your mom smoked. Okay, let's make this one count. Or I'll do something dumb. There we go. Yeah. Well, I mean, there really is value in routine, you know? I'm at a point now where it's like, okay, get up, go to work, do the thing, and it's like I've got a routine now, but it was so much, you know, I spend so much time commuting and being at work that there's so little time in the day when I get home. Yeah, I just feel a lot of I mean, just this week, Wednesday, I cleaned the apartment a bit because the bug sprayer guys were coming by. And I always get nervous about anyone seeing my place if it's a mess. So, by the time I had gotten any sort of cleaning done, it was almost 9. And I got to be up at 4 in the morning. So, it's just there's this time pressure on both sides. And, I've been really a lot more tense than I ought to be lately. Plus, oh man, God, I'm still angry about this. So, back in February, I applied for a job, I thought, and I wind up at this temp agency. They set up an interview and it goes nowhere and I don't hear from them again. A little while later, I hear from a different temp agency. Like, oh yeah, we work with this other one. They sent us your information. Like, oh, okay. And, they're the ones who set me up with this call center job. So, okay. There wasn't even an interview for that. They just looked at my resume and said, hey, how about you try this? So anyway, the first temp agency calls me earlier this week and they say, hey, got this job lined up for you. They're really excited to talk to you because they like your resume and your aptitude tests. I thought my words per minute and data entry tests. So I'm like, okay, well, this sounds great. And she says, can you take some time off of work to do an interview? And I'm like, yeah, I'll arrange it. So I hate to do that because it's like I've already agreed to a schedule and I don't want to back out of it, but I talked to the person at work who handles the schedule and say, hey, I got this job interview coming up. Can I get out a couple hours early on Monday? This coming Monday, actually. She says, oh yeah, sure, good luck. So I arranged time off just like I was asked, and I send an email to this temp agency person and I say, hey, I can get off a couple hours early on Monday, and this location you've given me, I can get there by about 4:30 in the afternoon. Well, the next email she sends, she says, hey, can you take some time off to do an interview some morning this week? So I've already set aside time off of work to come and do an interview. And then she wants different time off after I've already told her what I've done. And the real kicker is, and I don't think she's privy to this, but the hours she's asking for. Okay, so I'm making $14 an hour answering phones. And we've gone into overtime because of the 15th. So, any hours I took off, during the week, that would be $20 an hour. I'm pissing up a rope because, the first hours that you lose are your overtime ones. They're the ones on the top. And taking time out of a morning to do that means I might not get to work until noon or 1. Oh, is this where I'm going? God. So she's like, yeah, not just alter your schedule, but alter your schedule again, and it'll cost you at least $80. So I am not, I read this and I was just so dumbfounded by what she said. Oh, also, she had told me about the wrong job. It's actually a different company, and they want to pay $13 an hour instead of $15. So, my response email to her was just, I beg your pardon? Because I can't believe she's just done something this stupid. Well, and then she says, well, okay, they're still interested. Can you start work on the 29th? And I've already said, I'm at this job until the 30th, so that would be a no. I said, I'm going to do this. It's like, okay, that's not going to work for this company. Wow. Just wow. at every step of the way. And, you know, it may be part her and part this company, but the position I'm in right now, I'm just going, fuck everything about this situation? Could you guys get it any more wrong? So, so my high hopes of a job interview or a job for $15 an hour are nowhere, and this temp agency is clearly awful at what they do. Oh, and then she even called me on the night with the scheduling thing where my email was, I beg your pardon? And she calls me just as I'm starting to get some sleep. So I'm like, I don't know how you've done it, but literally everything you've done is wrong and bad. And thus far, what I've gotten out of this agency is 2 interviews and 0 jobs. They referred me to the other one, and at the very least, when all's said and done, I'll have had a job for 6 weeks. That, you know, pays more than my security job was after 13 years. So that's interesting. But yeah, I was just so infuriated constantly this week. Because, you know, I'm not going to dick around on my phone at work. I mean, who has the time? But a lot of the exchange would be like, I'd take a 10-minute break, I'd check my phone, and I'd get one more infuriating step in this process of futility. And it would be just in the back of my mind for the rest of the day. It's like, okay, do I have a job coming? Do I not have a job? And then it's like, okay, well, I'm on my lunch break. We'll call her. And
Home,
yeah, it's just more.
What is it you
How
desire?
could anything this convoluted be this annoying?
Very well.
Oh,
Let the echoes become your strength. Let me stand close.
so I'm gonna
Now
try
shut your
calling the agency that's actually landed me some hours, and say, hey guys, you got anything coming after I don't have a job now? Because at the very least, I've gotten on fairly well with the supervisors at work. And the QA lady seems to like me. You know, she sampled 2 of my calls, and I did a video chat with her. Oh, that's not even where I need to go. Old Yharnam. There we are. So at least in terms of quality, I can come out of there going, hey, I did a good fucking job here. So let's see some better opportunities. You know, at least I've got that going for me, because, you know, even the jobs I hate, I'm doing my best to, you know, be the guy they want to hire back. You know, the first thing I was paid for down here was to keep a human assembly line, for lack of a better way to put it, supplied. This printing company had a contract for medical brochures, and every couple months or so, they send out a bunch of them. They're contracted with some company, and they send out all these brochures, and we package them. They come out printed, where it's all, you know, you get boxes and boxes of all one kind, and then need them repackaged. It is stupid, mind-numbing work. It's just a pain in the ass job. It sucked. I didn't like it, but I did it well enough that they asked me to go back. And that's just the way I do things. So at least I have that going for me. And yeah, it finally counted against me. I'm like, no, I'm not willing to just walk out on my schedule for an interview that may not land me anything. And like, oh yeah, we would rather hire somebody who will turn their back on us. If I sound bitter, it's only because I am. Anyway. So it's been a week, to say the least. Yeah. Now if I could just focus on doing things I liked and do those better too. Exactly. I mean, I think I put this on Twitter, but, you know, it's annoying enough that this schedule, being what it's been for the last week and a half, you know, it's like I don't have time to do things I want to do often enough. But it was to the point where it's like, I need to do laundry, and I have no way to get to the laundromat and back, let alone the time to do it. So that was pretty grim. And it's like, I can't get groceries because I'm working through the week, and I also had to work Saturdays, so it's like, well, I can't bus up to the store and buy groceries, so I wound up ordering online. But yeah, I don't know, it's all just been this, it's been a weird time. I'm sure I'll remember it for years to come. So, take that to mean what you will. In other news, I still need to learn how to write network code. And of course, I have a couple books on my tablet that are all about hacking network code, so of course that's fun. You know, a lot of it is replicating common utilities in Python, and that's always fun. Like, just how to write something similar to netcat in Python, and realizing that netcat is probably the coolest tool. It's like, oh hey, I can take a Unix pipe and share it over a network now. It's like, what's not to love? I remember some hacker conference, they needed to set up another room for, you know, to stream video into, and they're like, okay, well, how are we going to stream this? We don't have anything set up. And they're like, well, you're recording it. Why don't you just pipe it upstairs through netcat? And they ran their whole conference with that. It's like, well, you know, you do what you got to do, and if people are going to make tools for that sort of thing, might as well enjoy them. Oh, cool. Yeah, I have no artistic capabilities. And, I mean, I've never developed them, so obviously I don't, but I'm starting to come to the understanding that there's no such thing as talent. There's putting in lots of hours. So yeah, I've never really put enough work into it, and be it 2D or 3D, I can produce precisely nothing. It can be frustrating at times. Like I looked at how much trouble it was to work with sprites, and then when I think about trying to do anything with 3D models, I'm like, how do people do the thing? I mean, ultimately, it's a lot of practice and... jumpy boy. Yeah, no doubt. You know, and that's why Pixar isn't looking for technical people usually. They want puppeteers. You know? people who understand how a figure moves. Stay down. Yeah, I mean, I don't even understand the process for a lot of these things. Like, I mean, I kind of understand how you put a level together in a 3D game. I mean, most of my knowledge is pretty outdated, but, you know, like, do you draw the individual polygons on a model? Yeah, I mean, exactly. I just don't know how people do it. Plus, I never really have you know, much of a cohesive creative vision for a lot of things either, so that doesn't help. Oh, and wait, there's monsters here. Oh wait, this way takes me back to the beginning, where I don't want to go. Okay. Huh. And of course there's further layers to that, like how... I mean, you were talking about how you get muscle and skin to move and all that sort of thing. And I think this only opens from the other side. Yep. So I get the impression that there's somebody watching silently, and I have no idea. Yeah. Plus, I mean, I imagine if you know what you want to make, or what it should look like, I guess, that probably helps too. How many of these bloodstone shards do I have now? 27. Wait, there's a monster back here. Yep. Hello, Shrieky Boy. Oh, that's a lot of bullets. Still gonna use blood first, though. Boy, these statues are something else. Oh, here we go. Right up near the boss room. So there's a guy you can summon here. I sort of want to bring him in on the fight. But I don't remember where his sign is. And I actually don't remember what signs look like in this game. Oh. Seems kind of like, I mean, yeah, it does seem like a lot like sculpting would be, but without not being able to undo. You know, you can grow your materials back and so forth. Oops. Someone wants to start some shit. You know, for all the antidote that I was going to collect down here, I forgot I'd be using a lot of it. So let's see. You know, I had a similar experience, but it was when I was shown a word processor in first grade. Yeah, our elementary school got a bunch of Mac LCs in there, and they were showing us kids, hey, here's things a computer can do. And I remember being amazed by the idea that you could type something out like on a typewriter, but you could hit backspace and fix what you had typed if you screwed up. And then they showed me the spell checker, and I'm like, oh, that's amazing. So, I thought that was pretty nifty, and it was a pretty influential moment for me, almost as much as, oh, another player. He arrived. Where is he? Hey. I need Punch and Blood cocktail in the mix. And Smack Bloodstorm Beast, and he sucks. This guy's just gonna go ham on him. Wow, I've never seen that fight go that quickly. back when, my parents had acquired 2 computers, and they were both back in the day where the computer was a thing you plugged into the back of the TV with RF modulator cables. And what we had is we had one called an Interact, and this is a late 70s vintage computer. Everything ran on tapes, and it had, I want to say, an Intel 8080 as its processor. It did BASIC, but I don't remember doing much with it. I vaguely recall some of the games being entertaining, but it wasn't quite as impressive to me as the not Commodore 64, the VIC-20, the predecessor to the 64. That thing blew my mind because I learned how to do a little BASIC on it. It's like, oh, so if I start this thing without a cartridge in the slot, I can tell it what to do. It blew my second grade mind that was a thing we could do. Okay, I can't upgrade that yet. Oh, wait. Oh, 100%. Let's upgrade that for laughs. But yeah, that, and then the overabundance of Apple IIs you would find in schools. I always managed to convince the teacher to let me learn how to, program stupid things on them. Because I was a kid, I didn't know anything.
Welcome home, good hunter.
But yeah,
What is it
that's pretty much where I got my start. Yeah. I mean, learning now some of the things you had available to you in BASIC, like I never understood what poke and peek were about at the time, but having since learned about them, I'm like, oh, okay. You could do things with the hardware. And,
shut your eyes.
I basically I did everything in BASIC badly, as a kid would. But, yeah, well, those old apples were always pretty great.
Farewell, good hunter. May you find your worth.
The whole DOS thing, or Apple DOS, or just the built-in BASIC interpreter. You could do an awful lot, and just the idea of being able to, once you start finding ways to draw on the screen, it's like, oh wow, I can do cool stuff. And I went to the wrong lamppost again. But yeah, we eventually got an old Mac Color Classic, and one of the earliest things I did is I found a Quick Basic interpreter for it. Actually, sorry, Quick Basic interpreter and compiler. Apparently, Microsoft made one for the Mac, and it took a little work, but I eventually got the compiler to work. And the idea that I could distribute a program that somebody else didn't have an interpreter for necessarily was just great. It's like, I can make code and give it away. And then there was stuff like HyperCard back in the day, where HyperCard was essentially Flash, but in the 90s. That's the best way I can describe it. You could make, if you didn't know what you were doing, because I didn't, you could make crude little games. Cathedral Ward. Yeah, logo. I did a little with that, but I didn't understand some of the concepts that made it cool, like being able to like recursion and loops and so forth. But logo is kind of a neat tool to learn with. I remember in second grade we had some class, and apparently teachers thought I was kind of smart. So why don't you go into this and try this? I'm like, okay. Doing things in logo is kind of neat. But yeah, it was like at this time when you know, they're definitely trying to push the idea of computers on kids, and it worked for me. But the other thing at the time was, you know, computers were getting all over media too. So you'd see TV shows and movies where the MacGuffin was one of those 3.5-inch floppy disks, often enough, and that still amuses me. You know, that you'd always have these. You know, there's this important data file, and nobody thinks to copy it. I mean, even when I was a kid, that bugged me in movies. But, I mean, I can understand if you don't have the time because you're on the run from international hitmen. But... twin shards. Neat. But yeah, I actually, somebody wrote a logo interpreter in Python, and I kind of want to play with it sometime. You know, just for some weird nostalgia. Maybe I can make some cool shapes. I don't know what else I would do with it. Someone's shooting me. Hey, buddy. Weapon search corpse. More bullets. Blood vial and... what's in the box? Oh, another gemstone. Fine. Yeah, I sometimes have ideas of making kind of like a crude roguelike on an Apple II. That like 6 people would play. So. And plus, distributing that would just be a pain in the ass because I don't know how I would make the necessary disk image. Oh! Wow! Oh, no. Oh, Bloodborne, you are full of surprises. Murderous, nasty surprises. There's actually a place I'm trying to get to, but I'm 90% sure. Hey, it's screaming morons in the lobby time again. But anyway, it's very easy to screw this up. And we all know what happens when I play games. I fuck it up. Also of note, there is a risk of death by gravity. Oh, did you hear? Did you pick him up here? Oh! So did they come through on the recording? Oh, another sword hunter badge. That pleases me. Oh, impressive. I think they're gone now. Oh. Uh-oh. I don't know how to get through there. I don't remember what key I need. Oh, that's a bummer. I am disappointed. Okay, back down the ladder. No, not quite. Somebody tried once, though. More than once, actually. Piece of shit. I remember it was the night before my first day on the current job. And I'm lying in bed and I hear somebody rattling my doorknob. So I wander out, I grab my mag light. You know, I mean, that's a flashlight that doubles as a nice bludgeon. And I go up to the door and I look through the peephole and I see this kid. Skinny kid, blonde hair, maybe like 5 feet something. Oh, here we are. This is the place I was trying to get to. I don't remember which way the door is. Oh, there it is. I think. So true. Okay, this guy falls and dies. Let's not make his mistake. So I'm 90% sure that... Oh, God, I don't see it. I thought I saw it, but I'm not sure I did. But yeah, so anyway, the thrilling conclusion to that story is, while I was, looking through the peephole, I see him kind of try to tiptoe towards the door, and he puts his hand on the knob, and I just yell at him through the door, and he looks like he's about ready to shit himself, and he just runs. I'm like, well, I think my point's been made. But, seriously, parents, teach your kids not to be shitbirds. It's not too much to ask, it really isn't. Like, I mean, I do hope he lives in fear of that moment. Look, I hope he at least has traumatic nightmares about it, because fuck him. What is he pointing at? So, I think this is going to be another gravity death. I mean, I can get down there, but... Oh, there it is. That's the door. How the frick do I get to it without dying? I mean, I can't from here. That's a given. Alright, well. So what's that guy do? I think I'm oh, wait. There's a... Okay, so I had a series of... Damn it. I kept dreaming of places, and I kept finding these places connected to others, and I was trying to construct some kind of narrative around it all. Because I'd keep going to the same place, and I'd keep connecting them, and it's weird. It's like there's a place I've managed to construct in my subconscious, and I want to examine it more. I actually tried doing one of those choose your own adventure things. I think it's called Twinery. Oh yeah. I started using that to try and make something where you kind of wander through that dream, but I don't think it can ever come to a decent ending, because it would just be you wake up, it was all a dream, Fuck you, ending. You know? Hey, here we go. So while there is a thing I want to find, there is something else I want to do up here. Just gonna walk around some jerk rooftops. Boop. And I believe this is the rune tool. Yeah. I mean, I should construct an actual narrative, I suppose. I mean, I used to write all the time. You'd think I would still do that. And alley-oop. Okay, back to the dream. Speaking of dreams, that is. So now that I have 2 more Sword Hunter badges, or just badges, let's see. Oh, I can buy fire paper now. Bone marrow ash. I can buy bloodstone shards, which is nice. Bunch of weapons. Oh, and I can... Wait. I can do Chalice Dungeons now. Or rather, I can do Chalice Dungeon. I can only reach the first one at this time. Okay. Well, this is probably going to be as good a place as any to call it a night. Let's see. Yeah, they all just kind of, you know, unless you really commit to writing them down or something, they all kind of just fall apart like a metaphor that I can't think of right now. Hey, thanks for coming. I always appreciate any of you I get. Oops. So let's see. And I'll be back at it tomorrow. I'm just going to play Resident Evil 4 until I get to the end. And if I run early, I will... if it ends early, I'll keep doing something else for a little bit. Thus far, it looks like Resident Evil 7 is winning the poll for what's going to replace 4. So that's... I may be ordering that on Saturday, or picking up a copy. But anyway, until next time, thanks for watching. If you had a good time, please leave a like. And if you're watching sometime in the future, leave a comment behind. And I will see you next time.